Hello everyone, and welcome to a preview of something I've been tinkering with. So currently, I can't really do Chaos World due to some technical issues that are going around, so I've been looking for some series that I could maybe, not necessarily replace it with, but supplement the video content that's presently coming out, because we only have like 3 series. So this is a modded Minecraft setting. So I'm already using the same texture pack I used on Critter City. This is, if I can remember the name of it, this is Wayukian 6.3. Happy little trees. And if I fly over here, we might start to see some of the modded effects. So you can see we've got a lot more flowers, and we've also got a Foundcraft dungeon here, which isn't here usually when I spawn this world, but it will. We've also got a bunch of new mobs and a bunch of new stuff going around. So, the bulk of this mod pack is built on top of a mod pack known as Eldritch Studies, which you may be able to find. It's currently kind of being slightly up-tweaked for 1.7.2, but this is running on 1.6.4. And that features a wide number of mods, including hardcore render expansions, so something similar to Chaosville. Hardcore render expansion, we've got Tinker's Construct in here, we've got non-event items, of course, so yep, there it is. We've got Ars Magica, for those of you that like Ars Magica still. Chisel, Forbidden Magic, Reliquary, Witchery is in here. But there's also been a bunch of changes that I have made to this mod pack. So the first one you will notice here is on my hotbar, I have 3 slots either side. And that is part of Mountain Blade Battle Gear. This is a mod that the Yogscast showed off ages ago, and I loved it on site, but you don't really get much option to use it because it's not really very well updated and whatnot. But it basically allows you to dual wield items. It gives you these new slots here. These are paired for the slots that you see on the side of my hotbar, and you can fit different weapons and such into them. So there's the war axes, there's the maces, there's shields. These arrows are presently in here, but the way I've set up the config, they don't actually craftable. There's a reason for that, which I'll explain in a quick moment. And you can dual wield stuff. You can have you can have shield and sword. You can have 2 swords, war axes and swords. The other thing that I've done for purposes of combat is this: bows and arrows have their own slot because I have installed better archery. And that gives you this whole array of bows, as well as this massive selection of arrows and colorable quivers, which is a lovely thing to say in of itself. So, if you have a quiver, and you have a stack of, let's just take regular old arrows, which are still craftable the same way, then, if I right-click on it, we can see there's this little section here. Those hold 16 arrows each. They can hold 16 arrows of any of that vast wide selection. So you can fire any of those, and you can then see that it's got a little thing at the top there. If I have more than one type of arrow in here, so let me just grab some flaming and some ender arrows and pull those out a little bit. Okay, so you can see the regular arrows at the top there are presently highlighted. If I push plus and minus on my keyboard, we can cycle through them, and that changes which one we are actually about to fire. Now, the slots for battle gear is perfectly compatible with these bows, so we can quite happily switch between using sword and board, as they used to say, and arrows from all of this, and that does work perfectly well. So that gives our combat already a lot more variety in this, and that may be giving you a clue as to exactly what's happening. Oh, there's one of Ars Magica's mana creepers. We also have things like lava mobs, we have the Better Dungeons mod, we have Lycanites mobs, which adds a bunch of terrible things which are awful at night. So let me set this up. Okay, we're on easy, so set to midnight, and we might start to see some stuff popping up around. Let me see, where are we? No, it's being surprisingly quiet for some reason. Oh well, Meanwhile, we have a bunch of food options. So we've got Grimoire of Gyre, which adds a bunch of stuffs to it, including a few interesting sort of magical items that you can plug together, as well as farm and whatnot. we also have Harvest Craft, which I am absolutely in love with, because it does add a whole bunch of crops. It also adds an absolute ton of craftable food items, which is just magnificent. Extreme chili there, made with chili peppers, and regular chili, made with all that stuff. It's just wonderful. That's a full-blown crafting thing for food. I love it. I am, for those of you who don't know, a bit of a foodie. I like to cook, and I don't really have much of an option. And oh, there is Like Knights showing us a clink. So these are really interestingly modelled guys, and they... Ooh, the sounds on them is lovely. Oh, there's a Farmcraft villager wandering around. Let's see, if I just go further away. Oh, yeah, there's some more clinks here. There's a desert mummy, a crypt zombie. A creeper. Yeah, the creeper mod's really awful. I don't know. But anyways. Yeah, there's a ton of that. There's a bunch of new ores as normal for a mod pack. For example, Harvest Craft does add its own salt. Oop, there are manticores, which are apparently targeting our little villager buddies. But they are one of a vast number of mobs that you can find, and they are biome specific. Now, the other mods that we got installed, like in terms of like alterations to Eldritch Studies, is we have the backpack mod installed. So let me see if I can quickly find that. I probably just have to search it here because everything has its own creative tab. There we are. So we have the backpack mod. You may remember this from Chaosville, as when I made my Wicked Ones travel back. I had a big blue backpack for that. So we've got crafting, workbench, all kinds of storage, ender backpacks. So, and if you have one of those, let me just grab a big blue. Let's see, Shift B gets me into the backpack slot. And it now shows on my back. And what's great is with the battle gear, if I just grab myself a, let's see, let's go with an iron sword, well, an iron shield, and let us go with a diamond war axe, because axes are my thing. I haven't had the opportunity to do so for a while. And ooh, where has my shield gone? There it is. Okay. So if I switch to those, we can see I'm holding them, and if I switch out of it, you can see I've got my axe to my side and my shield across my back. And that is lovely. And the quivers from Better Archery are also able to appear either on your side or on your back as well. So there's a bunch of like custom player rendering stuff like that. It's fantastic. I love it. We have open blocks as well, so it's dark night here. So let me see if I can just grab myself a sleeping bag and hop to sleep. So there we go. So very nice. Can I actually just right click this? Yes, I can. Huh. Good to know. It works just like a chest plate. And awakeness. And it dupes like that because it drops off you every time you do that. That's fine for me. So the sleeping bag doesn't set your way. It doesn't set where your home point is, but it does work for saying the day. And maybe that gives you an idea of what the focus of this particular mod pack is. Tigger's Contract, by the way, still in here, but a lot of it's been removed. Runic Dust is specific to this Eldritch Studies pack. I haven't quite fully figured out getting this place to work on multiplayer just yet, so this is still in development. But you're perfectly capable of starting up a nice farm and having a nice little homestead. This isn't a mod that demands that you make a big bulky power setup that demands that you be in one place. This is a mod pack that is intended for roaming, exploring, and adventuring. Now, of course, you can still play normally. You can still have your big farms. Harvest Craft is very good about that because there's a bunch of new plants to make new foods from and stuff. And there's still Farmcraft, Witchery, Ars Magica, and that kind of thing, but by and large, I've endeavoured to avoid having any mods in this pack that demand that you have a big, bulky base with tons of minerals and all sorts. This is a place where you go out, you find dungeons, and there are some good dungeons. It's like, look at all of those. These are just the objects that spawn the Chocolate Quest dungeons. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of places to go and a lot of things to find. So we can get a whole ton of interesting items. So my thoughts for this is I don't have permission from all of the mod creators, and oh, just before I forget it, I've just noticed it on my notes. There is one mod that I'm really liking inside of this, so if I let's search there. There it is, the lantern. Now, if you recall, in Chaosville we have the handheld torches mod, which means that when you're holding an object that normally gives off light, it provides light. I like the notion of that, but I dislike the fact that it takes like a stick and a piece of coal and you've got a walking light source. So, instead we have this lovely rendering lantern, which is not too much more expensive. I think the default recipe requires a glowstone, but I changed it to a torch because you can change it to more or less anything you want. I could make that a diamond helmet if I wanted. And it creates the lantern. And that works just like the torch and handheld torches. It's the only thing in the mod pack that does this, to the best of my knowledge anyways, but it's getting to be a fairly bulky item-laden mod pack. And you can just plonk it down, it's got that lovely animation, and you can pick it up again just like a normal torch. It's lovely. And it's very nice, I love it. You can also, there's a config option to let it have, to give off light as long as it's on your hotbar, but I only have it in my hand, because that makes a bit more sense to me. But, yes, my plan, as it currently stands with this mod pack, is what I'm calling What Business, with an elf, a man, and a dwarf. So, it'll be periodic episodes of me, of me and potentially up to 2 other people. I haven't quite settled on who. I have a few people in idea, but I thought I'd make this video as sort of a, hey, check this out, it might be worth your time, because it's not great to walk up to people and say, hey, do a series with me, I have absolutely nothing to show for it ahead of time. And it will be us wandering around, exploring, building up our resources and our capacities to fight greater threats and whatnot as we move around. We will not be setting, like, advanced, powerful, like, bases and whatnot. We won't be building castles and fortresses and strongholds. We will be tearing them down by the sword and the bow. Because there are a lot of them around here, and there's a lot of really cool stuff to do. Let's see, I think there's one more thing I did remember on that point, which is, we do happen to have, let's see if I search it, as part of the default, parts of Eldritch Studies, we have the Dragon Mounts mod. Now it takes like 20 minutes to spawn these guys, so let me just get a Ender Dragon, and I'm going to need some fish, so let me see, raw fish, and boom, Ender Dragon. You can get a bunch of different variations. Whoop. And I'm now riding him, apparently. Now, of course, you may wonder, how am I going to get a saddle, because there isn't anything that usually makes a saddle. Thankfully, there is a very specific mod that allows you to add a recipe for the saddle, so that is in here as well. So let me... can I? No, apparently I can't, so let me hop off you. Sit, boy, sit. There we go. Okay, so now we have our own dragon mount. And funky because there, for some reason, the key config needs a little bit of work. So let me just grab a carrot on a stick, because that works just as well. And can I make you go up? No, apparently not. There you go. Now you're playing sensibly. So I can ride around on a dragon. You saw there's some horses right at the start there, so I could conceivably kill some of them, get a bit of leather, put some iron together, and a bit of string, and I got a saddle, all ready to ride around on them, because this is something that's going to, like, seriously promote you flying around, running around into various long-distance trips, so I kept that in mind. They also have the arrow cam, which is not a mod that you see very much of, for what I imagine are slightly plausible reasons. So let me just show that off using a bit of the better archery stuff. So let's go with a composite bow. That is the highest one you can make. It's kind of annoying to get. And let us take a quiver with... well, let's see, what kind of interesting arrows can we use? Well, how about ones that explode and split into 4? Let's take some of those, shall we? So let's stick that in my quiver. And we've got my recurved bow now, well, my composite bow, so let's stick that onto my mountain blade. So stick it there. Now, if you have a bow in one of these slots, you can't put anything in the other one. It is a single use. It normally allows you to put a quiver there, but I had to disable the quiver for work with this one. So let's see. There's a quiver on my hotbar, and there's a quiver at my side, which, as an added bonus, is actually also animated. so it will shake when I'm moving around, and it will actually also empty itself as I run out of arrows. So let me see if I can just simulate that for us. And yeah, you can see it has way less arrows now. Lovely. But I'm in creative mode, so I don't need to worry too much. So, composite bow. And let's say I have some grievance with the local clergyman. Well, goodbye, clergyman. Or goodbye, small street towards clergyman. Now, the composite bow doesn't have quite as long a range as, say, the long bow, but it can still deliver quite a bit of punch. And the recipe for those is actually quite cheap. Not so bad. You could kill a few creepers. Oh, hello. How are you? Actually, let's go on you. And let's see if we can do a little bit of mounted archery. So, hello. And these are timed. There's a lot of other versions of these that allow you to actually just have it detonate on contact. But yeah, this is what I'm calling What Business. So it'll be more or less episodes where we are just getting about and doing stuff whilst talking about stuff. Because there's a bunch of, like, podcasts that cover a bunch of interesting stuff. But to the best of my knowledge, there's no in-game Minecraft kind of podcast, so like a vidcast or a vlog of some description. And to the best of my knowledge, there's also no series presently that talks about what's going on inside of modded Minecraft. So that is what I'm thinking What Business will be. It's what's going on in the modded Minecraft community, what's being talked about whilst we are experiencing an uncommon view of modded Minecraft. So that is What Business. If I can manage to get permission from all of the mod developers, this is a relatively small mod pack, so it shouldn't be too difficult, but individuals have individual motivations, so who knows. Then I will certainly put out a download for you guys. This is not on AT Launcher or FTB or TechNet or anything, it's just been purely compiled inside of a forged directory. So more like a zip or a bunch of download links, but that's that. And when I happen to find out who my co-hosts will be, I shall let you know post-haste, because I am really jazzed about this whole idea. So anyways, I am wielding an axe and riding a dragon, and I shall catch you all next time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or a favourite. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now. Catch you later.